The entire world of Stranger Things is at risk, with Hawkins acting as a ground zero for Vecna's upside-down takeover heading into the show's final season. There is a lot for the characters to worry about going forward. The fans share some of their concerns, but many are also very interested in seeing how the show's biggest love triangle is resolved in Season 5. Nancy and Steve broke up in Season 2 of the series, paving the way for Nancy and Jonathan to get together. In Season 4, Steve made it clear that he still had feelings for Nancy, and she seemed to reciprocate those feelings, but she chose to stay with Jonathan when he returned from California. Fans are anxious to find out who Nancy ultimately ends up with when everything is said and done. Natalia Dyer, who has starred as Nancy for all 4 seasons, has its funny. Me personally, those questions are always kind of tough to answer because, no. I get the concept and I can see that it's, oh, we're pitting things. But for me and Nancy, it's just so much more gray than that, and so much more realistic in relationships and how they evolve, and how they change and not putting everything in a box, Dyer said. And I think in the context of everything that's going on, it's really hard to be like, who's she gonna end up with? And it's like, well, in the world of our characters, the world is potentially gonna end and they just had this giant rift thing, and they just narrowly escaped death again. I don't know. Who's to say who she's gonna end up with? It's a really funny thing, but I like that it interests people still, as we saw in Season 4. There are things Nancy loves and appreciates about both Steve and Jonathan. The latter has always been there for her, but the former has grown and changed a lot since they were last together. Dyer went on to break down how Nancy sees the two guys. For Nancy and Jonathan, I think they've really bonded through this sort of outsiderness, explained Dyer. Which I think our show really is. It's a bunch of outsiders, and they're all outsiders in very different ways. But I think all of them have an element of just feeling not the same as the masses. And I think for them, Season 1 they really bonded over this sense of thinking differently than everybody else, and I think they sort of helped each other open up. I think there's a deep bond in the things that they've been through together. You know, that shared trauma thing. No idea where the story is going. Speaking to Collider, she explained that Nancy isn't exactly worried about romance at the moment, given everything else happening around her. I think this season, Steve really surprised Nancy, she continued. These are 2 characters who haven't seen each other in a while, and I think there was always warmth from Steve and love, and there was a balance, She's the smart girl, and he's like the jock guy, and there's something about that dynamic that works in a way. But I think he's really grown up, and I think that impresses her a lot this season. He's grown up, he's kind of come to terms with things, and he also cares deeply and is brave. And I think that's something that she aligns with as well. Who would you like to see Nancy end up with at the conclusion of Stranger Things? Let us know in the comments. Please subscribe my channel Stranger Things Gossip.